If you woke up today feeling strange, electric, or exhausted for no apparent reason, stop. It isn't tiredness, it isn't sickness, it isn't just stress. The cold moon is coming. We are less than 48 hours away from the last and most potent full moon of the year in the sign of Gemini. And the rule of this transit is clear. The body knows before the mind. Gemini rules the nervous system, breathing, and communication. When the moon becomes full in this sign, it creates a high-voltage overload in your system. It is like trying to pass the energy of a lightning bolt through a thin copper wire. The wire heats up. The body vibrates. You are pregnant with a truth. There is something that needs to be said, a decision that needs to be made, or information that needs to be processed, and your body is holding that pressure. In this video, I will reveal the 7 physical signs that the moon in Gemini is already operating within you. I will teach you to differentiate anxiety from activation and show you how to release this stuck energy before it turns into a short circuit. Do not medicate the symptom. Listen to the signal. The first place the cold moon touches is not your mind. It is your throat. Gemini is the sign of communication, the messenger of the zodiac. Anatomically, it rules the trachea, the lungs, the bronchi, and the vocal cords. It is the ventilation system of the soul. When the moon becomes full in this sign, it pressurizes these channels with a violated urgency. The truth needs to get out. If you woke up today with a dry throat that no amount of water can resolve, pay attention. It is not a common cold. It is an energetic block. You feel a knot, a sensation of tightness, as if there were an invisible hand holding your neck, or a cotton ball that won't go down or up. You clear your throat, try to clear your voice, but the hoarseness persists. The dry cough appears out of nowhere, without fever, without warning. What your body is trying to tell you is brutally simple. You are swallowing something you shouldn't. There is a conversation you have been avoiding for weeks. There is a no you should have said in the moment, but you smiled and agreed. And now that false yes is rotting in your larynx. There is an idea, an opinion, or a feeling you censored to keep the peace. But that is now charging the price of internal war. The throat is the escape valve. When you close the valve out of fear, shame, or strategy, internal pressure rises. The full moon in Gemini increases the voltage. The result is this acute physical discomfort. Your body is literally trying to expel the lie or the omission from your system. Observe when the symptom worsens. Is it when you are near a specific person? Is it when you enter the office? Is it when you think about that subject you swept under the rug? The body does not lie. Where the throat closes, there lies the block. Many people go through this transit, taking syrup and lozenges, treating the chemical symptom while ignoring the spiritual cause. They think they are sick, but they are not sick. They are dammed up. The Gemini cough is not to clear mucus. It is to clear the channel for the voice. It is your autonomic nervous system trying to force the passage of air so that sound can come out. At this moment, the pressure may seem unbearable. You feel that if you open your mouth, you will vomit words. You will say things you might regret. You will break the diplomatic silence you built with such care. And perhaps that is exactly what needs to happen. Gemini energy does not care about diplomacy, it cares about circulation. Information needs to circulate. The truth needs to be told. Air needs to enter and exit. If you block the flow, you get sick. The first step to alleviate this knot is not to speak yet. It is to recognize Stop calling it an allergy. Look in the mirror, put your hand on your throat, and admit to yourself, I am holding a truth. I am angry and I didn't say it. I am hurt and I stayed silent. The moment you name the block, the throat relaxes a little. The body understands that the message was delivered to the consciousness. The cotton ball shrinks. Water helps, but the water you need to drink today is not to hydrate the body. It is to accept the flow. Drink while visualizing that the water is washing away the unspoken words, preparing the channel. If your voice fails today, do not force it. The silence, forced by the body, is a request for time. It is saying, if you are not going to speak the truth, I prefer you don't speak at all. Respect the knot. It is the most precise indicator of where your life is stuck. The cold moon has come to untie this knot, whether you want it to or not. If the throat is the escape valve, your nervous system is the wiring. And under the influence of this full moon in Gemini, the voltage passing through this wiring has just tripled. The second physical sign that you have been caught by the cold moon is the electric buzz. You might be calling this anxiety. You wake up and feel a fine vibration under your skin. Your hands tremble slightly when you hold your coffee cup. Your legs won't stay still when you are sitting. There is a motor urgency, a biological impossibility to relax. Your mind, trying to seek a logical reason for this discomfort, starts sweeping your life looking for problems. Did I forget to pay something? Is some tragedy going to happen? Stop. Do not believe the narrative of fear. What you are feeling is not fear, it is excess charge. Gemini is the air sign of fast wind, of instant exchange. When the moon illuminates this archetype, it sends a massive current of energy to your field. It is pure electricity. It is ideas, connections, memories, and truths arriving all at the same time, like a sudden storm. The problem is that your physical body is not managing to give outlet to this speed. The result of this bottleneck is the buzz. It is like a river trying to pass entirely through a narrow pipe. The structure vibrates, the temperature rises. You will notice this in your motor coordination. Today is the day you drop your phone. It is the day you trip over your own feet. It is the day you bump into furniture. Why does this happen? Because your consciousness is not in your body. It is flying, processing the future and the past. The body becomes ungoverned, trying to keep up with the frenetic rhythm of the mind. This state of static electricity is exhausting. You feel tired, but you cannot sleep. You feel plugged into the socket, but with nowhere to discharge. Traditional medicine would call this stress. The spiritual view calls this particle acceleration. You are being prepared for a leap. The truth that is stuck in your throat, which we saw earlier, needs kinetic energy to be expelled. The body is accumulating this charge for the moment of the shot. The mistake most people make when feeling this buzz is trying to sedate themselves. They try to distract themselves, which only increases the noise, or try to force a relaxation that doesn't come. Do not fight against the electricity. Direct it. If your hands shake, write. Let the hand move the pen on the paper without thinking. Often, the trembling stops as soon as the energy is channeled into the ink. If your legs shake, walk. The body asks for movement. Walk fast. The accumulated energy needs to be spent. Understand, you are not having a breakdown. You are going through a frequency upgrade. The buzz is the sound of change. The sensation of imminence, that something is about to happen, is real. Something is about to happen. The full moon will illuminate what was dark. Your nervous system is just warning you, with the language of vibration, to get ready. Do not be afraid of your own energy. This excess is the fuel you will use on the 4th to do what needs to be done. Breathe deep. Feel the vibration in your fingertips and say to your body, I can handle this voltage. The 3rd sign is the loneliest of all, because it happens when the whole world is sleeping, and you are the only one awake with wide eyes in the dark. You know this scene. You went to bed exhausted. The body was heavy, asking for rest. You passed out. But then, exactly between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m., something pulls you back. It is not a slow awakening. It is a snap, as if someone had turned on the room light or called your name. You wake up lucid, alert, with your heart beating a little faster than normal. And then, the radio turns on. Your mind, which should be in slow waves of rest, goes into maximum rotation. And the content of this nocturnal thought has a very specific Gemini signature. It is internal dialogue. You do not wake up thinking in abstract images. You wake up thinking in sentences. You catch yourself rehearsing the conversation you need to have. You mentally rewrite the letter you never sent. You debate with someone who isn't even there. You have brilliant and articulate ideas for problems that seemed insoluble during the day. Many call this insomnia. The blueprint calls this the night shift. During the day, your conscious mind is full of external noise. The traffic, the work, other people's voices, the signal of the full moon, the truth that needs to be told, cannot compete with this noise. So, your system waits for you to lower your guard. It waits for the silence of dawn to deliver the message. What is happening at 3 a.m. is not a sleep disorder. It is an emergency meeting between your conscious and your unconscious. The air energy of Gemini is volatile. It needs to circulate. If you spent the whole day holding the truth in your throat and vibrating anxiety, that energy needs to go somewhere. At night, it rises to the head. You feel that your head is full, physically full, as if the skull were too small for the amount of thoughts spinning inside. The fatal mistake most people make at this moment is staying in bed, rolling from side to side, trying to force sleep to return. I need to sleep. I need to sleep. This only generates more friction. You start getting anxious about the fact that you are not sleeping, creating a cycle of tension. The strategy to deal with the cut sleep of the cold moon is counterintuitive. Do not fight. Get up. If the mind turned on, it is because it has something to deliver. The message is knocking on the door and will not stop until it is received. Have a notebook and a pen next to the bed. Not your phone. The screen light ruins the process. When you wake up, sit up and write. It doesn't need to make sense. It doesn't need to be pretty. Just transcribe what the voice is saying. I am angry at so-and-so. I am afraid of failing the project. The idea is this. Do what we call emptying. Take the information out of the mind and put it on paper. You will notice something magical. As soon as you write the last sentence that was spinning in a loop, sleep returns. The body relaxes instantly. The call has been answered. Do not treat this awakening as a curse. It is the time when the veil is thinnest. It is the time when the truth appears without the censorship of the ego. If you wake up tonight, do not fight. Listen, write it down, and go back to sleep knowing that you just received a vital piece of the puzzle. If your mind is full and your body is vibrating, the inevitable result is a drastic change in your tolerance to the outside world. The fourth sign that the cold moon has caught you is noise intolerance. You will notice that your sensory filters, those that normally protect you from excess stimuli, have disappeared. You are without skin. The sound of the neighbor's TV, which yesterday was just background, today seems like a physical aggression. The voice of someone talking loudly on the phone next to you causes a disproportionate pang of anger. The supermarket light seems too strong. The smell of food seems nauseating. Traffic isn't just noisy, it's deafening. You feel a primitive urge to put your hands over your ears and scream, "Stop!" This isn't bad mood. This is saturation. Imagine a glass that is already full to the brim with the tension of the full moon. The water surface is tense, about to overflow. Any extra drop, a simple question, a door slamming, a touch on the shoulder, makes the glass spill. And when it spills, the reaction is explosive. You might catch yourself responding harshly to someone who asked an innocent question. What is it now? Leave me alone. Right after, you feel guilt. You think, why did I react like that? It wasn't a big deal. To the other person, it was nothing. But for your nervous system, it was the last straw. Gemini is the air sign, and air carries sound. When the moon fills in this sign, the volume of the world seems to increase. Your system is so busy processing internal truth that it has no resources to handle external demand. This intolerance extends to empty talk. Today you will have no patience for small talk. The "good morning, how are you? It's hot today, isn't it?" will sound like auditory trash. You want to get straight to the point, or you want silence. Anything in between is annoying. Your body is asking for sensory deprivation. It is begging you to turn off the input sources. It wants dark. It wants silence. It wants emptiness. If you ignore this sign and force yourself to socialize or be in chaotic environments today, you run the risk of having a sudden migraine or a crying spell. The body will shut down the system by force if you don't do it voluntarily. The strategy here is tactical retreat. If the noise rises, leave. Go to the bathroom, go to the car, put on headphones without music, just to muffle the sound. Don't try to be polite. Your biology is in a state of emergency. Explain if necessary with few words. I have noise sensitivity today. I need a bit of silence. Do not judge your irritation. The anger you feel at the noise is actually your vital energy protecting your space. It is creating a barrier so that you can hear what really matters, the voice that is trying to speak from the inside out. If the world seems to be screaming at you today, it is a sign that you need to stop listening to the world and start listening to yourself. The noise outside will only go down when the truth in here is spoken. If the electric buzz is in the nerves, the structural block is in your armor. The fifth sign that the cold moon has caught you is shortness of breath and weight on the shoulders. In medical astrology, Gemini rules the lungs, the arms, the hands, and the shoulder girdle, the shoulders. It is the region that connects the head to the heart. It is the bridge of expression. When the full moon presses on this sign, this bridge gets jammed. You will notice that throughout the day, you stop breathing. It isn't that air is missing in the environment, it is that you forget to inhale. You live in involuntary apnea, you take short sips of air, just enough to survive, but you never fill your chest. Your breathing stays stuck in the throat, high and shallow. Why does this happen? Because deep breathing requires relaxation. and your body is in a state of alert. Along with the lack of air comes tension in the trapezius. Observe your shoulders now. Are they relaxed or are they glued to your ears? This muscular tension is not poor posture, it is unspoken responsibility. The shoulders carry the weight of the world. But under the moon in Gemini, they specifically carry the weight of the information you are holding. Every lie you tell, to yourself or to others, weighs. Every truth you swallow weighs. Every decision you postpone weighs. You feel as if you are carrying an invisible backpack full of stones. This backpack is the accumulation of all the pending conversations of your life. The body tries to close itself to protect the heart from the truth. The mind already knows. You slouch forward. You cross your arms, closing the chest. It is a posture of defense against your own clarity. If you feel a sharp pain in the back, a tension headache that goes up the neck, or a sensation of slight suffocation when you try to relax, understand, this is not physical, it is energetic. It is your body screaming, "I can't handle holding this alone anymore." The cure for shortness of breath is not trying to relax. It is dropping the weight. And the only way to drop this specific weight is through the word. As long as you don't speak, your shoulders will hurt. As long as you don't decide, the air won't enter. The weight only leaves when the truth leaves. If the throat locks and the shoulders weigh heavy, the residual energy goes down to the legs. The sixth sign that the cold moon has caught you is the urge to flee. You are sitting on the couch or at your desk, and suddenly you feel a physical urgency to get up and leave. It doesn't matter where, just leave. It is restless leg syndrome raised to maximum power. You feel like getting in the car and driving until the gas runs out. You feel like opening the door and running. Your own home, which yesterday was a refuge, today feels like a cage. The walls seem to be moving towards you. The clothes on your body bother you. You feel trapped inside your own skin. This is not claustrophobia. It is acceleration. Gemini is a mutable sign, which means it rules movement, exchange, displacement. When the full moon hits this point, stagnation becomes physically painful. Your body is generating an immense amount of kinetic energy to push the truth that needs to be said. But since you haven't spoken yet, that energy stays trapped in the large muscles, vibrating, asking for an escape route. You do not want to run away from your life. You want to run away from the silence you imposed on yourself. The body understands that the only way to relieve immediate pressure is through movement. That is why the agitation. That is why you pace from one side of the room to the other while thinking. If you feel this impulse today, do not try to calm down by staying still. That will only increase anxiety and may generate panic. Your body is asking for an outlet. Obey biology. Go walk, run, drive, move your body in space. Physical movement helps burn the excess electrical charge that is frying your nerves. But understand the message behind the symptom. The urge to flee is your alert system screaming that the current space has become too small for the truth you carry. It is no longer possible to stay still in this same emotional place. Either you move or you explode. Flight is the body's reaction to danger, and the danger, now, is remaining silent. Use the energy of your legs to give you courage to move forward, not distance to hide. If the 6 previous signs were about the discomfort of pressure, the buzz, the insomnia, the urge to flee, the 7th sign is about the relief of the breakthrough. But it is a relief that scares. The last symptom that the cold moon has caught you is sudden clarity. You spend days, maybe weeks, submerged in a mental fog. I don't know what to do. I don't know what I feel. I am confused. Confusion, actually, is a safe place. As long as you are confused, you don't need to act. As long as you don't know, you are not responsible. Under the light of this full moon in Gemini, this fog is cut by a lightning bolt. It is not a gradual process of understanding. It is a snap. You are washing the dishes, driving, or looking at the ceiling, and suddenly, the answer falls entirely into your head, like a file that finished downloading. You know the relationship is over. You know you need to quit your job. You know that person is lying. You know what your mission is. There is no more maybe. Gemini's truth is binary. It is 0 or 1. It is yes or no. This moment of clarity is physical. You feel a chill down your spine and, right after, an absolute calm. The heart slows down. The anxiety of the other signs disappears, because the anxiety was just your resistance to seeing what you are now seeing. But along with the calm comes the weight of responsibility. The phrase that arises in your mind is, "Now I can no longer pretend I don't know." Ignorance was a blessing. Clarity is a summons. Once you have seen, you cannot unsee. The truth has installed itself in your consciousness, and it will demand that your external life aligns with it. If you had this moment of cutting insight in the last few hours, that thought that made you stop what you were doing and stare into nothingness, do not try to push it back into the dark. Do not try to rationalize or diminish the voice. That was the lightning bolt. The storm broke. The confusion is over. What remains now is only the courage to obey what you already know. You have the diagnosis. If you recognize yourself in 3 or more of these signs, look for no further logical explanations. The cold moon has already caught you. Stop trying to medicate what is spiritual. Stop trying to calm down when the sky is asking for acceleration. Your body is not failing. It is working perfectly. It is the most sophisticated antenna that exists, picking up the frequency of truth days before your conscious mind accepts the fact. The buzz, the insomnia, the closed throat, none of this is sickness. It is accumulated pressure. And there is only one cure for pressure: the escape valve. The truth needs to get out. In the next 48 hours, do not swallow the cry, do not swallow the anger, and mainly, do not swallow the words. The time for diplomacy is over. If your body is screaming, it is because your soul no longer has time for silence. You have been summoned to speak, to decide, and to change. Trust your skin. Trust your tremor. They are not sabotaging you. They are guiding you out of the lie and toward the exact place where you need to be. The mind can lie, the ego can pretend, but biology is honest. To validate your physical intuition, turn off fear and warn your nervous system that the message was finally received. Leave your final decree registered. Write in the comments, "The body knows." Listen and release.